morning, good day, wherever you are around the world. This is Max in English, and I'm coming to you with Unlocking the Fearless You. Now, we've got Aishan here today. Ta-da! Hi, Aishan, how you doing?
I'm really good, thank you.
Now, we've had a bit of a strange day today because me and Aishan have been talking probably for about the last 3 hours, sorting out technical difficulties, and we're here, but we literally got here 30 seconds before we had to start.
I tell you, the will of God, I tell you, but it's typical me. I'm not a very, very technical person, so I
No,
think
don't worry about that. It's not about your technical ability. There was just a lot of things going on, but we're here now, and it's absolutely amazing.
it
And
is.
Aishan should have actually been on it with me last week, and I had to reappoint her because I was absolutely manic, bogged down with so many different things, and she was so amazing to come on this week. So
Cool.
thank you so much for joining me.
Pleasure, and it was amazing what you're doing as well with your Christmas market and all the wonderful things that you're doing at Christmas time. I think it's superb. You're a real shining beacon to us all, really, with your.
See, I'm going to start blushing. So I want to say thank you for coming on. We've got Susan on already. Hi, Susan. Susan's coming from Oregon, and she's come to say hello. Look, I'm going to put it up there. Look, she's sending love hearts. She's here.
Oh,
I know. How lovely is that? So what we're going to do is Aishan is the celebrity of the week. So this week it's going to be This Is Your Life. So I know obviously we've had a bit of a chat, and there's a few things I know about you, and I'm obviously going to go through a few bits with you, and then I'm going to leave it to you for a little bit. Is that okay?
yeah, that's fine.
So I know that you started in the industry when you was around about 8 years old,
Yes.
and you done lots of singing, you done lots of dance lessons.
Yeah.
Now you said you was with the Sylvia Young Drama School. Is that a massive school?
It is. It's very big here in England. It is, and it's been
Okay.
going on for many, many years. So it is very well known. It's one of the best state schools, really. And what's good about them is that they've got an agency attached. So the minute I went in there, it was quite intensive, training, mentoring, and with the agency attached. And there is a lot of that nowadays. But back in the day when I was a little girl, it wasn't as common. So yeah, I was very fortunate to be part of Sylvia Young Theatre School.
Amazing. So for doing that, and then after you was there, did you stay there for a long time, or did you only stay there until your teenage years? I mean, how long was you there for?
Until my basically until I was ready to go to university. So I was there until I was about 17, 18 years old. Yeah. So
Wow.
quite a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, you was there a long time. I mean, she must have taught you so many different things,
Yes.
in every aspect, I'm assuming, or did you have one particular thing that you enjoyed more?
I enjoyed the acting the most, of course, hence why I then went on to become a drama teacher. But obviously, you had to do everything. You had to do the singing, you had to do the dancing, you had to do the drama, and it was quite intense. And my weakness was, I mean, I enjoyed it, but my weakness was the dancing, and they were really, really strict, and they were perfectionists. The teachers there, were perfectionists. So, I mean, as well as it being really, really fun, it was a lot of hard work and a lot of pressure for a young person. So, there's
Yeah,
pros and cons to it all. But yeah, you had to
yeah.
be in all three areas. Yes.
And I suppose because they were such a perfectionist, I suppose it brought you to a higher standard, and it made sure that you did what you was meant to do, and it stretched your mind, your body, everything that was about you, and made you a lot better than what you could have been.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, it definitely allowed me to have very high aspirations, and and understand from a very early age that it's very competitive out there in that particular industry. So you felt the pressure straight away, really, especially for the fact that you were joined onto an agency. You would talk to your friends not about, I don't know, the latest pop group, but you'd be like, oh, how many jobs did you get? How many jobs did you get? And you were sort of, it was almost like your popularity was according to how many jobs you'd gotten that month, that week. So yeah, it was very competitive, I must admit, but a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, so I suppose it's very much like it is now. It's very much that it's a lot of people who are on social media.
Yes.
I suppose that's how it also works.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
you know what? It actually prepared me because obviously when I was little, social media wasn't as big as it is now. It was sort of at its beginning stages. But actually, the fact that I had that sort of training prepared me for social media, because social media, yes, it's a wonderful thing. It's great sharing your stories, becoming successful, having a platform. But at the same time, there's a lot of pressures, and you need to be able to know how to adjust yourself, how to conduct yourself, how to portray yourself. You need to think about all these things. And being part of a stage school obviously helped me immensely with all of that. So yeah, I'm very grateful. Very grateful.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
You have to excuse me. I was sorting the decoration out. As it's Merry Christmas week.
Woo!
I even sung for you. I mean, what more do you want, lady? Right? It's like
Of everything I put you through to do with the TV.
I was like, she's got decorations. I don't have decorations, so I've put them up, and it's already fell down once, so I could hear it crackling. It was going. I was like, quick, get it.
My
So
colour, and Christmas is my favourite time. So
I love Christmas. Christmas is amazing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Christmas week, the build up to Christmas.
yes,
And yeah, it's all going well. So let's go on to the next bit of your life. It's very much that, you know, you were saying around about the age of 11ish, you started doing adverts and TV programs. Now I know obviously the things that you said to me, that you went into TV. So you was doing the Pepsi Cola advert.
yeah, I did a lot of the Pepsi Cola. It seemed to be really popular, especially around Christmas time.
Yeah.
A lot of the Pepsi Cola adverts that I did actually were for abroad, and
Okay.
so they weren't actually aired here, but a few of them were. You know, the big Pepsi, like the trucks. I think they still have them nowadays, but it
But the
was.
holidays are coming.
And it was a lot of fun. I mean, my best memories are those adverts, because literally there'd be hundreds and hundreds of us, all these kids, all singing all together, all dancing. We'd be there, you know, for a really long time, rehearsing together, filming together. It all sort of amalgamated into one. So you didn't actually know what was a rehearsal and what was actually being filmed, because it was a lot of fun. They did make it a lot of fun, because obviously we were all youngsters, and, you know, there was a lot of people there that sort of mentored you and helped you along and made you feel good, because, you know, a lot of the times I was missing time off school to do these things, you know, so it was a slightly alternative life to a normal childhood. Definitely, I'd say that. But yeah,
So did it make it more fun? Would you say that, you know, every child should do something like that? Because a lot of kids don't think about things like that nowadays. It's very much swimming or football or,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
things like that.
No, definitely. I would say every child needs to harness their creative side, because, you know, nowadays there's a lot of pressure, um, maybe more so than even before. I think, you know, with everybody striving to get a good education, because, you know, there's not a lot of jobs out there. So of course everyone's striving to do well, but at the same time you've got to remember that you've got to have that balance, and having that creative side is very, very good. And it doesn't have to necessarily be in the arts. It could be an interest in cars, it could be baking cakes, it could be anything, it could be
Yeah.
sports, but something that is a little bit more, not so much sort of, you know, writing and about literacy, but actually expressing yourself in some sort of form.
Mm.
But at the same time, when I did these adverts, yeah, they were great, but it did mean that I did miss out on school as well, and it meant that I had to be very, very disciplined, because I did want to do well. I did want to have an education. I did want to go to university. It's not like just because I was doing these things I didn't actually want qualifications. I wanted that as well. So it was quite stressful, but
Yeah.
like I said, it was good character building for me. It made me very organized. It made me very determined. It made me realize from a very young age that if you want something, unfortunately, you've got to work very hard for it. Nothing comes easy in this life, especially if it's something good. You've got to work hard. So yeah, I learned.
I'm just about to have a scenery change. Hang on a second. I'm about to fall down again. This isn't working too well, is it?
No, I have the same problems with my display
Okay.
or with my blue tack.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to make sure it's all there. Okay, so you went on from Pepsi Cola and you was in Grange Hill.
Yes, I was only in the background though with
Oh,
Grange.
okay. So is that classed as an extra as you're in the background? Is that classed as you
My
just
first extra work, yeah. I used to
right?
go, just be part of the crowd, walking up and down the corridor. But again, good fun. When I hear the music, it just reminds me of this time. I actually even remember the smell of the set. My dad would take.
Wow.
My dad would be like my plus one. What was fantastic was my dad worked really, really hard as well. He was very, very busy. He was an architect, so I hardly saw him, but he always made sure that he would be the one that would take me. And I actually have one of my best memories of me and my dad. him taking me to these places, because we'd sit and have lunch together. He'd tell me how proud he was of me. He would be very excited when we'd go on set. So it was more, I think I got more excited because, you know, when you're little, you don't realise everything, whatever you do, it's just normal. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's a celebrity. Now I think back and I think, oh my goodness, I met this person and that person. But at the time, they're just an ordinary person because you're a child and, you know, everything is new. But to see the excitement in my dad's face, it was, you know, it's magic. Definitely magic memories of
Exactly. And them kind of memories you've got to cherish, because it's like with my dad, I mean, my dad passed away 13 years ago, but it's something so normal that once a week, even when I'd moved out, we met up and we walked around town and we chatted and we went and had lunch and, you know, just for a couple of hours. And so it wasn't nothing amazing at the time, but it's the one thing that I truly remember, that's what we used to do on a regular basis.
That's right.
And things like that, like as in you saying, like, you know, him going on to set with you and the look on his face and, you know, things like that, it's something that you always treasure.
Yeah. Yeah, I treasure that most, to be honest with you. With out of everything, I mean, I hardly even remember the details of exactly what I did and, you know, how I stood. But actually, what I really remember is the time that I had with my dad, because it was very precious, because he was really busy, worked really, really hard. I mean, now I'm very fortunate. He still is in my life. And, you know, he helps out with my children now. And actually, because he's retired, it's a completely different relationship. But at that time, you know, that they're my childhood memories, really. My childhood
Yeah.
are those. So, yeah.
Brilliant. And then you was in the amazing EastEnders.
Yeah. I like to tell that to everybody. I was. And I
So come on, tell us about your EastEnders life then.
Oh my gosh. Well, I was one of them. I don't know if you remember Mehmet. He was I think he owned the cafe at some point, but I was one of his naughty children, and I sat on the car and I was naughty on his car. And in those days, you know, you had the phone boxes on the wall. They had one of those on set, and I was told I had to bang on the phone and be really naughty. But the embarrassing thing was that I sat on the car and I had a skirt on and my legs were out, so it was not the prettiest of pictures when I actually saw it on television. I mean, luckily I didn't show anything, but yeah, it wasn't the best sort of
And they didn't even do a retake for you.
Sorry?
They didn't even do a retake for you.
No, of course not. They probably thought, this dreadful child, get rid of her.
Oh, how funny. Hi,
Yeah.
Adam, nice to see you, my darling. Glad that you could join us.
And oh, hello.
Yeah.
And
Hello, Adam. Hang on, I'll
go to Ali's wedding as well. He was another character, and
right.
from that we got invited. My dad got invited to his wedding, and that
Yeah.
was a night. Everybody was there. They're all there. But since then, my children are involved in Chicken Shed, and I sometimes see some people coming. I mean, I won't name names, but some of the characters in EastEnders, their children go to Chicken Shed. So I still do bump into them, but yeah.
Yeah, so you're sort of still interacting with the people from your past, and I suppose you see each other grow and you talk about it and you interact, and
yeah, it's
which is all great. Yeah.
Now
I know that
EastEnders. That's one of my favourite sitcoms. I would have loved to have been part of EastEnders permanently. It would have been good. It would have been good.
There you go, guys. Any EastEnders not here? She wants to go on EastEnders. She's put her name down. So you then went on to help out with the Prince's Trust. What did you do with the Prince's Trust?
Again, we used to do just fundraising. I'd be part of a lot of the singing, a lot of the choirs and things. We had performances at the Royal Albert Hall and various places. But obviously the Prince's Trust is an amazing, trust, and, they do amazing things even to this day. And it was all, I think I was one of the first people to be involved in. I think they just set up Comic Relief, and there was a song that some kids were involved in across the country. And now what a lot of schools do is they do like the Young Voices, where they go to the O2 and they all sing as part of a whole big thing of all the schools get together. So obviously I think it was the beginnings of ideas of getting kids together and having celebration of singing all together, and we were there in the thousands sometimes. So it was, again, a very amazing experience to be part of, really. It's great when you know that it's for a good cause.
Yeah.
it's even better. But
Oh,
again,
brilliant.
it's yeah, it was very similar to the adverts. You know, you'd go there, like literally, Sylvia Young would send a lot of representatives from their school to a lot of these jobs. So, you know, I mean, they've done a lot. They've done a lot for a lot of people, a lot of children.
Yeah. I mean, I remember back in my day, you know, before the war, it was very much that
Before
when
that,
I was in school choir, and I got invited twice to the Royal Festival Hall, and I was singing with the Philharmonic Orchestra, and we also one of there was a play there as well, and they were doing Swan Lake, and that was the first thing I ever saw. Is I was actually down the front with all these people. There was thousands of people there, and as you said, like all the schools, it was our school and a couple of other schools, and we all stood along the whole front. And there must, I think, it was about 20 of us lot from our school, and we just sung our little hearts out. And I think I was 10 and 11 then, and I went twice. And yeah, that was an amazing experience. And then afterwards, we got to see Swan Lake.
mm,
So yeah, I mean, that
lovely.
was only what 5, 6 years ago.
Everything that I'm talking about is very recent, of course.
Of course, of course. I mean, you know, we look fantastic for 21. So then you did a musical, and you went on to do your musical, and you was in the musical Rent. So
Yeah.
what did you do when you were there?
I was a background dancer for that, and
Okay.
unfortunately, I didn't have a very long run with that because I had to actually make a bit of a life choice at that point. I was part of the Central School of Speech and Drama at that point, and I got that job through them. Um, but I had to sort of think about, you know, my future. By that point, I'd done a lot of sort of traveling around, and uh, I'd realised that actually, although I really enjoy acting and singing and dancing, it doesn't pay as much as I'd like it to. So at that point, I sort of made a choice of going into mainstream schools and
Okay.
trying to get my teaching qualifications. So I did a short run, and then I was very, very fortunate to get a chance to be a teaching assistant in a school, and it's in that school that I actually trained to become a drama teacher also. So I felt like, you know, at that point, it was right for me to stop that and to move on to doing something in a bit more of a mainstream environment. So,
Mm.
yeah, it was hard. It was a hard choice, but I had to make it really at that time. At that time, needs must.
It was just your time to do that life change and go, do you know what? I just need to go for it.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
because you know I had the opportunity to actually train and teach at the same time, and obviously because I'd had a bit of an alternative education already, for me to actually go and do a PGCE would have been really difficult. Whereas to actually train on the job was far better for me, so I sort of took that option, and I'm very glad for it because since then, you know, obviously I've been able to help children in drama education as well. So obviously, you know, it's given me more variety and more experience. So yes, I'm glad I made that choice. But at the time, it was quite heartbreaking. And you get used to the cast, you make friends. You know, when you see people day in and day out, and you're
Yeah.
working together in such a close knit environment, they become your family. So
Yeah.
to leave them is really, really difficult, especially when you're doing a show together. It's yeah, it's hard, and I'm still in touch with a lot of people anyway from then, and
Which
you
is
know, I like to
fabulous.
talk to them. Yeah, it is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even though with Yes You Can, it's like we are spread all around the country. Some of us are all around the world. But the
Mm,
fact is, because we interact with each other all the time, I
mm.
completely get what you're saying because we are like one big family and we all help each other out and we talk and, you know, it is brilliant. So
Yes.
I do get exactly what you're saying. So Adam's telling us that he's loving the decorations.
Yes,
Adam,
I'm looking at that.
yeah, it's Christmas week. I mean, next week you'll be seeing me with my hat on. You
I
know,
know.
I'm just, yeah,
Oh,
oh yeah, I'll be ho ho hoing.
someone run off and get our hats on. Oh,
Get your hat on.
gosh, I
So
just wish
we're doing it slowly. So this
I
week is decorations, and
yeah,
then next week it'll be Christmas hats.
it'll be full on Christmas. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love my fairy lights. Yes.
Yeah. So he's loving the decorations. So it's all good. We like to bring things to you. Okay, so you went to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. What did you do there?
Right, a friend of mine wrote a play about basically at that point it was becoming very much at the forefront in the news about terrorism and, the fear of terrorism. And his play actually looked at that subject, but from all sides. And
Okay.
it was very interesting. It was very out there. It was a very out there play. I mean, there was a scene where the main character teaches the audience how to make a bomb and all sorts of things. So we actually were on, and then we were taken off because we were told that obviously that scene was a bit too much. There was too much description. So we had to take that scene out. And then we were back on. So it was drama within a drama, but again, it was a lot of fun. My friend Emily is a very talented writer. And like I said, these things need to be talked about. People need to be informed, but obviously within a safe haven and within certain boundaries. And because we were university students, as a university student, you want to cross all the boundaries, but it's good because it gives you a good learning curve of how far you should push it, how far you shouldn't. You've got to give off your message, but you've got to be safe with it. You've got to take responsibility for the things that you actually share with your audience. So that was a very good learning experience for me also. But yeah, it was lots of fun. We were there for a whole week.
Wow.
I've gone there since and watched my friends put on shows. Fringe Festival, it's just wherever you go, there's a show. It's on the street, it's everywhere you go. I mean, the atmosphere is amazing. I would strongly recommend it to anybody interested in theatre, whether you're in a show or not. It's something that you should experience, definitely. So that was a lot of fun, especially for the fact that it was all with my university friends. It was great. It was really
Well, it's
good.
even better then. So was it when you was at university, was you studying drama?
I was. You see, I did a course at Queen Mary in Westfield College where I actually did a drama degree, but I took a year out and I was at Central School of Speech and Drama, and that was all prepared for by Sylvia Young Theatre School. So the fact that I had that experience, I was able to combine a mainstream degree with an acting qualification as well. So it was great. So I did it for 3 years, but in the second year, I was at Central School of Speech and Drama for a year. And obviously within that year, we were able to do all of these other things, like go to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival and things like that. Yeah.
So for everything that you've gone to, I mean, so you've gone to the Sylvia Young School. You started at a really young age. You've gone into adverts, you've gone into TV, you've gone into drama, you've done dancing, you've done singing, you've done the lot. And then you decided to open up your own thing and do your own drama.
Yeah.
Your Happy Moon Productions.
Yes.
So when did that start?
Right. That actually started after I got into mainstream teaching. Obviously,
Okay.
doing it, of course, I enjoyed it, but when you're a creative person, you want to create things yourself, not just teach it. So
Mm-hmm.
I decided to create my own production company. We got a lot of funding from places like Awards for All. We did plays about the environment, about sexuality, about all sorts of different things, and it was great fun while we did it. I mean, I actually in between used to work for a theatre company called Youth Create, and I used to do that on Saturdays, and I learnt a lot through Carol Russell as well. She used to be the head, the director of that theatre company, and she taught me how to run, because I used to run the Saturday sessions, and having that bit of experience sort of gave me the courage to actually set up my own production company. And it was great. It was really good. It was a lot of fun, but a lot of work and a lot of responsibility. And a lot of
So do you do much with that now? Or have you toned that down to
um,
have motherhood? Because obviously I met your 13-year-old son earlier while we were sorting out our technical difficulties. And
yeah.
obviously you've got all your other things that go on. Do you do a lot of it?
I'd like to. I want to in the future to carry on, and I'm currently at the moment involved with a theatre group that I wrote a lot of plays for, and they keep saying to me, "Why don't you do some of your own stuff?" But it's just finding the time. It really is. And like I said, I will talk about it. I'm sure at some point the things that I want to sort of go into, that I want to sort of develop.
Mm.
Right now in my life, what I'd like is to maybe be a mentor, show guidance for people who want to set up their own production companies and assist them. But to actually run it myself, I just don't think I've got enough time at the moment. You need a lot of time, a lot of commitment. And like I said, fundraising is a very big part of it. And that's quite a big job. Like you literally need a whole team, you know, set out for that. But I'm involved in lots of things. Like there's lots of people that I'm liaising with at the moment who are setting up their own companies, and I'm supporting them, and I'm getting the same satisfaction where it be. It doesn't really matter to me whether it's my production company or somebody else's, as long as we're creating and making a difference to people's lives through theatre, through education, through creativity. For me, it makes no odds really whether it's mine or somebody else's. So yeah.
Yeah, okay, I understand that. So then after you've done all that, you know, you've done all your acting, done your singing, done your dancing, you just wasn't satisfied with that, was you? Because then you decided to go on the catwalk. I mean, you know, why didn't you go the whole walk?
Something else. Well, you know what? I used to, well, what it is when I was at Sylvia Young, I used to get modelling jobs, but I'm not very, very tall. I'm not 5'8". I'm a petite individual. And obviously I wouldn't get as many work as, say, some of my other friends. And it used to always sort of get to me. I used to think, but why? Why do you have to be 5'8" and 5'9" and 5'10"?
Because it makes their dresses look amazing. Because you're not meant to be a normal size.
So can't you be a little bit shorter and get on?
Yeah, a 5'8", size 4. Because obviously everyone looks like that.
I did a few modelling jobs that were adverts, but not so much on the catwalk. So what happened is a friend of mine who's an agent, I went to Cyprus for quite a long spell, and she had a leather brand. And she said to me, she said, you know what? She said, you've always wanted to do it. Let's take some shots out on the beach. And we did it literally for a laugh with my friend. She took loads of pictures of me. And then I forgot about it. And like, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years went on. I had my children. And then she sort of out of the blue contacted me and said, look, I've got some of your pictures and I need to, would you be all right for me to use them? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And she said, oh, so do you do any modelling then? I was like, no, I've not done that for years. And she was like, why? Do it. And she actually helped me get back into it and actually fulfill my dream of being on the catwalk. I've done it quite a few times now. And yeah, it's something that I always wanted to do. And I am petite and I've done it. And I've broken those boundaries and I want to break some more. Because, you know, at the end of the day, people don't want to see the same thing. You know, people want to see people of all shapes and sizes. That's what is beautiful. You can be thin, you can be a bit curvy, you can be short, you can be tall. We are all beautiful. This is the point. And having people like walking on, like, you know, one mannequin after another, that's not real. People, I think, are looking for alternatives now. People are into, you know, having all shapes and sizes represented on the catwalk. So I think we're really at an amazing point for fashion in that sense.
Looks like I'm going to be the next catwalk model then.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's for everybody. You know, it's about confidence. Beauty is
skin deep.
About feeling good. You know, it's about feeling good. It's not about, you know, this pressure, this, you know, and I think that's my next sort of calling, I think, is, you know, young girls need to hear this because, you know, a lot of stuff that you do see in mainstream magazines, I mean, a lot of that has been touched up. A lot of my pictures, you know, like, yes, there are some, like when you take pictures, you're meant to take it on a raw setting and it starts off as raw, but then people play around with them. People play around with them. So what you actually get to see in a magazine isn't always the real thing. And youngsters need to realise that, really. I mean, sometimes I think, yeah, they put untoward pressure on themselves. And I still do. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the industry. You do put pressure on yourself about all sorts of things and you do judge yourself. But I suppose it's part and parcel. If you put yourself out there, you've got to expect people to make comments, to say things. You've got to just be a bit thick-skinned, really, and accept it. But at the same time, not take it too seriously.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, everybody's their own person. You know,
Yeah,
exactly what you said just now. It's very much, it comes down to confidence. It comes down, you know, self-esteem has got to be there. Your confidence has got to be there. Because if you do get some youngster that they turn around and go, you know, they haven't got a thick skin, you know, you need to be a lot slimmer. That can cause anorexia, cause bulimia. You know,
yeah.
there's so many mental illnesses that can go with that just because someone puts someone down.
Yeah, and I think that's why I'm really grateful that my modeling has actually taken off um, later on in my life when I'm
Mm,
actually more able to handle it. I think if it happened when I was really, really young, I
mm,
might not have been as successful purely because I wouldn't have been confident enough to know what choices to make, what to say yes to, what to say no to. And, you
yeah.
know, people say all sorts of things. I mean, I had it recently where I went to a job and they said, oh, sorry, but you've got to be 5'8" and above. So I didn't fit the criteria. And I walked out of there and I didn't feel sad. It was okay. I was like, okay, so I'm not right for this particular job. No problem. You know,
But you know that you've gone through jobs though, don't you? You've had your experience, you've gone through jobs, you know that you can get other work. But you
yes.
imagine if some 16, 17, 18, 21 year old went in there and
Yeah.
they said, sorry, you don't fit the criteria, you're not what we're looking for, that would absolutely crush someone,
Yes.
you know. And it's like, you know, perhaps that should have been put on there what they're looking for to start with, rather
Yeah.
than saying, sorry, you just ain't good enough.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I
Mm,
mean, I think people in the industry need to be very much aware of that and be very clear about that, you
mm,
know. And what I'm noticing now, which is really, really good, and I strongly recommend this, is a lot of agencies, a lot of talent shows, a lot of organizations that put on these things have actually started now to have people come in who coach people, who mentor people, and they're a lot more aware of mental health issues. They're a lot more aware of people's well-being and wording things in the right way. Everyone needs to be able to hear some sort of criticism. Nobody is perfect. You know,
yeah,
you can't hold yourself up on a pedestal and think that you're absolutely amazing. There are times where you need to be able to hear criticism, but it's got to be done professionally, it's got
yeah,
to be done right, and not by anybody feeling, you know, inferior or upset or, you know, that they're not good enough, because it's not about that. You know, you could be the most beautiful person, but you just might not be the right look for that particular theme,
mm,
job, whatever. And what's very important for young people to realize is that, you know, just don't take it personally. You know, it's not anything to do with you. And if you get refused a job, you might get another 5 jobs later on down the line. And also, don't be afraid to say no. And I'm still learning this. I'm still struggling with this. It's that pressure of feeling like you have to say yes to everything, because if you don't say yes, then you won't get the next job. But actually, I'm learning now, even at this stage of my life, that you have to say no, because if you don't say no to certain things, your mental health, I mean, you just, I mean, I had a really bad cold a couple of weeks ago. I just literally was in bed and like collapsed because I'd taken on too much. So at every point of a person's life, you've got to really think about that. I strongly say, you know, don't be afraid to say no. Saying no is good.
So if you had some youngster, sorry, my scenery is falling down again.
Well, my iPad was about to fall over, so I was like, yeah.
So I'm sorting my scenery out. See, this is what happens when you get actors and actresses in. The scenery goes all awry. So if you've got some youngster, whether it's male, female, and whatever age they are, and they've come, say for example, they come and see you, or they come and see somebody that's actually doing a modelling agency, and they want you to join someone, you know, what is the 2 top pieces of information that you'd give them to make sure that they survive the actual week or survive that day?
Um, what, as in to actually find a good agency, or just generally to be able to do well in this
To do
industry?
well and to cope.
To cope.
Yeah.
Don't rely on anybody but yourself is what the one thing. Yes, have a good, you know, A lot of people always go on about, oh, you've got to get a good agent, you've got to get a good agent. Actually, don't stress about that. If your agency isn't that good, that's fine. As you build up your portfolio, you'll get a better agent. But actually, the person that you need to rely on is yourself. You make those contacts. Don't be afraid to email that person or to message that person or to send your CV, because actually the best agent is yourself. That's what I've learned. And networking is really, really important and a great way to actually find jobs. So be confident in yourself is one thing I would say. Don't just rely on your agent, rely on your own expertise, because you know yourself more than anybody. You know what you're good at more than anybody. No one else can tell you that. You know what you can do. So I would definitely say that. And don't get scared about running out of time. I think we all get so afraid that, oh my God, we're going to run out of time. But you know what? My career has been the best now than it's ever been. Like when I look back, like don't be afraid of getting older and for time to pass, but because actually I think it's an advantage. I'm now learning that it's actually an advantage. The more experience you gain, the more mature you are, you're going to handle yourself a lot better and do greater things. So, don't get anxious that time is, moving on. Be calm about that and have a bit of a backup plan. Like, with finances, unfortunately, this industry, it's not the most amazingly paid. So just make sure you've got a plan B somewhere and don't be embarrassed. Like, I have a lot of actresses, friends, actors, and they have part-time jobs in all sorts of all sorts of places that maybe don't pay such great amounts, but they're proud of what they do. So be proud of whatever you're doing, be proud of it and do it 100%, give 100% commitment, really, I'd say.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would help so many youngsters out there. If anybody that's got, themselves, or they've got children out there that have actually want to go into, drama or dance or modeling or anything, those go for all of those. It's very much that it's such a broad range of things that you can do, as long as, you got the thick skin, as long as, they can get themselves out there and be confident. Confidence, as you said, confidence is an amazing thing, and networking, that all comes down to confidence as well. I mean, when you've got a child that can do that, the whispers go around, oh, look at that person, look how good they are. Because if they're young and they start out that kind of confident, imagine what they're going to be like once they're in their 30s or in their 40s. It'd be absolutely amazing.
It's actually better. I say this to the kids at school. I don't think it's great to peak when you're like a teenager. Teenagers and youngsters are so like into being popular, but you know what? Who wants to be the best that they are when they're at that age? You want to be the best that you are when you're a little bit more mature and you know yourself. So don't be afraid of that. Like, you don't have to peak. Like, there's this great pressure. Or if you're not popular in school, then that's it. No, that's not it. It does not define you. As you get older, as you get more experience, you peak far better and you shine far brighter. So be confident in yourself. If you feel like you're not 100% you yet, you will find yourself, you will find your way. Just like I said, don't be afraid of time. Time passes and it's a good thing. Don't rely on an agency. Go out there, don't be afraid. What's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to say no, and
you'll get one door closed, another one opens.
Exactly. And be proud of everything that you do. Even the smallest thing that you do is fabulous. Just be proud of it and give 100% commitment to everything that you do. When people see that I think that's why I get more work now. It's not actually because I'm better or, better looking or whatever. It's because actually when I go to a job, I give 100%. And when they see that commitment, you get recommendations. They write a reference for you and they say, yeah, this person's reliable. They came on time. They followed all the instructions. They weren't a drama queen. We'll have them again. So actually, it's your reputation that's far more important. So whatever you do, do it properly so that your legacy that you leave is a good one. I think that's very important. In this industry, people talk. So if you let people down, then they will talk about it. So just be very, very careful of that, I'd say, definitely.
Brilliant. It's a good bit of information. So thank you very much for that.
Oh,
So now moving on to where you are today. Now you're on is it Unogenic TV?
Eurogench TV, yeah, Eurogench TV.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
And you do the news and weather, and I've actually seen a few of these broadcasts.
I do, yes. I do the news and weather. It was very unexpected, actually. I never thought I would do the news and weather, but I'm really, really enjoying it. Um, they saw some interviews that I did on YouTube, and they found me and contacted me, and I went and had an interview, and they basically said, we want you to do this. And at first I was like, I can't do this. I can't do the news and weather. I'm not clever enough for this. And they were like, no, you
Here
can.
comes Mrs. Michael Fish, and it's going to be sunny here, and it's going to be rain here.
Talking about politics, and I'm not sure, but they were like, give it a go. And I gave it a go, and I'm really enjoying it. I love the people there. They're so fabulous there. They're so supportive, and I really feel, like I said before, that I'm working with my family. It's a real family atmosphere. So I'm really, really enjoying it. It's a new chapter in my life. I've been doing it since September, and it's just getting better and better as I go along. So yeah, it's hard work because I'm still teaching. I do that in the evenings. So it's a real juggle for my family life. But I think with me, it's about being organized. It's about, you know, giving my family that time and being very strict with it. That's my family time. This is my work time. So yeah, it's got me a little bit more organized for
Good.
sure.
Unless you've got family and work time mixed together like you did this evening,
Yeah.
where we just all bundled in like a big
Well,
family.
they
But
all
it was
came and
good.
helped me out. That's the thing. That's the beauty of it all. Is that, you know, when you do have people that love you around you, they actually do support you in what you do. I mean, you know, when I first started to go back into the industry, I was fearful for that, you know, because I was 100% on it with my kids, and I was getting a little bit obsessed with them, you know, with the book bags and this and that and the other. And then I thought to myself, you know what? Yes, okay, your children need you to care for them and look after them. But actually, what sort of a role model are you being if all of your dreams are dependent on them? You know, you don't give them room to breathe. Um, they're constantly rolling their eyes at you and they want their space. So actually be a good role model. Show them that actually being independent and being a career woman is something to aspire to. And I think my kids are now proud of me because I'm actually doing something for myself. So, you
Yeah.
know, obviously I'm not able to do everything all of the time. And there has been times where I've missed, you know, their concerts or this and that. And I've had to get like other mums to record it for me, or I've had to get the grandparents to go. And it's been sad for me. But at the same time, I'm doing something as well. So hopefully they'll look and say, well, we're proud of our mum. You know, she's
Yeah.
doing,
And
doing
I can completely resonate with that.
right.
I'm exactly the same with my daughter. She's been in school plays for the last 3 years. And if they do like a 2 o'clock play, I just couldn't go. It was very much, unless they had an evening one, it was
Yeah,
like I missed out.
yeah.
So I do get exactly where you're coming from. So for everything that you've gone through, I mean, there is so much there that you've done. What would you say that, which area of your career would you say, do you know what, I'd love to develop that and the reasons why?
I'd really like to do more modelling. I really want to develop that. I've really enjoyed it. It's given me so much confidence. It's something that I really needed to happen in my life, I think. And it's just getting bigger and better. I want to do much more editorial stuff. I want to do much more high fashion. I never thought that I'd be able to get into high fashion, like I said, because I am petite. But actually, a lot of people are telling me now that I can get into it. I've done a lot of catwalk shows, like I've said. I've got some amazing photographers, you know, backing me up and supporting me. And I'm going to do quite a few exciting collaborations in the new year that I'm really psyched about, with some really, really high-end professional um, and people full of integrity and experience that I have so much respect for. And the fact that they're actually opening their doors for me is such a compliment and such an honor for me that I've got to pursue it. I mean, how can I
I'm
not?
glad not to, yeah.
I not. I really want to. So that's definitely a side that I want to do 100%. And
Okay.
obviously, I'm still very interested in education. I want to carry on with my teaching career. I don't want to give that up because I absolutely adore working with young people. So I want to continue with that. But certainly, yeah, it's the photography. I feel like I've got a story to be told there. I've got a bit of a calling there. Yeah, I want to develop it more.
Perhaps I
Certainly.
should get you on to here and you can become a broadcaster on here too.
Yeah, definitely.
You
Why
know,
not?
don't see why not. You know, it brings you forward. You can obviously put it out there as well at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And obviously, I'm carrying on with Eurogenge, and we've got, I'm expanding with that. We're going to do much more bigger and better things with them also. Like I
Hmm.
said, they've become my family, so they've given me such an opportunity. I'm so grateful to them. You know,
So with what you're saying of everything that you've gone through on there, the insights for other people. So say for instance you've got someone that wants to be on the TV, be an actor and actress. How would you say how they would get into that?
right. Well, it all depends. I mean, obviously, it would be good for them to have some sort of training. If they are young enough to go to a school, then I would highly recommend that they get professional training in the singing, in the dancing, in the drama, because it is very, very competitive, and there are certain things that you need to be educated on. So that would be the first thing. Secondly, obviously, try and find maybe a theatre company that do have an agency, because they will help you. And like I said, a lot of these theatre schools now, not only do they have agencies, but they actually have like personalized learning programs where they have people who coach you, who mentor you. Because you see, and I've had this problem, and I still have this problem. When you're a creative mind, you want to do everything, and you know you you don't know how to sort of narrow it down and have
Mm.
a proper linear plan, because you're all over the place. So a good coach will be able to sit you down and say, okay, let's do
Focus on
this,
this, then go to this, then go to that. Yeah, exactly.
some
Exactly.
sort of like pathway into this industry. So I would highly recommend that they do it that way.
Okay.
And then if it is something like modeling, then it's getting very good professional pictures done, but not spending a fortune. If someone charges you a fortune, then there's something wrong there. You need to actually, getting good photography done doesn't have to be extortionate. So you've really got to do your research, because unfortunately, this is a business, and it is very competitive. So you need to find the right company for you, and then get your pictures out there on lots of platforms. There's lots of internet sites that can be recommended, and have a very small, close knit family of friends around you that you trust. Keep it small. Don't tell everything about yourself. Don't feel like you have to justify yourself to everybody and tell everybody everything, because unfortunately you've got to play it safe, and you've got to be careful, especially on social media. When someone messages you, you've got to really check them out and make sure that they're a genuine body. So therefore, have a small set of trusted people around you. Keep it very small, and keep it to people that you really, really trust to help you. Like it could be family, it could be friends. And if you feel stressed, if you feel unsure, if you've got that funny feeling inside, this doesn't feel right, I'm not sure about this, tell somebody. Don't just go to a job and not tell anyone. Always play it safe and tell somebody, so that people know where you are and what you're doing.
And
Yeah.
if you've got, say, from sake, like when you said about a lot of like the TV, the modelling, everything else is like starting from an early age. What happens if
Yeah.
you've got someone that's actually tried all these different jobs, gone into them,
Yeah.
gone out to them, don't really like any of them, haven't really found their passion, and all of a sudden something's happened. They've gone, do you know what? They really want to do this. Like with me, with broadcasting, I love being on here. I love chatting to people, and it's something that I didn't want to do when I was younger. But now I've just turned 40. It's like now all of a sudden I'm broadcasting. What about if you had someone that wanted to be an actor or an actress at that kind of age, and they turn and go, do you know what? I actually want to do this now. It's like I've always wanted to do, but never done anything with it.
Mm. What should they go for it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, is it something that they can get into as they're older, or is
100.
it something realistically you should spend time doing it?
No, 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 no. You can get into it at any point. Anything is possible at any point. Like I said, I did the modeling when I was really, really young, and then I left it for many, many years, and
Mm.
I've now gone back into it, and I never thought that I would be able to do it later on in life, and I'm doing it, and I've been far more successful now than I was ever at a younger age. So 100%, if you've got a passion for something, you must do it. It's better to do something and regret it than to say, oh, what if? Just go for it. Just do it. Don't be afraid. Because like I said, what's the worst that can happen? They're going to say no. And
Exactly, exactly. And
yes,
when you're older, you get a thicker skin because you care less.
I think so. So you get thicker skinned and you're more mature and you handle
Mm.
things better
Yeah,
and you communicate
100%.
better. Like I said, a lot of the times with these things, it's good networking and getting to know people. Now, when the more mature you are, the better conversation you have, the more articulate you are, the more experience you have, the better stories you tell. So I think you become far more interesting. I mean, like, I'm much more interesting now that I have children than when I didn't have children, to be honest with you. I can relate to people far more because most of the people that I speak to have families also. But as a youngster, I didn't have that. I wouldn't have had that piece of conversation to talk about, and it gives you an array of experience having children, for example. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm not saying that you have to do that, but as you grow older, you do lots of different things,
Yeah.
and it becomes a conversation piece, and it could be the difference between getting a job and not getting a job, holding the interest of that person, and that person saying, you know what, this person is interesting, I want them to get that role. Listen, I think they're quite right for that part. I think they've got the right look. Sometimes it's about just putting yourself out there and being a bit open,
Mm.
you know. Like I said, you don't have to give personal details to everybody, but at the same time, be confident enough to talk to people. Why not? What's
Yeah,
going to happen? Nothing will happen. Yeah. Most
exactly that.
people,
So my last question to you, my lovely, is
yeah.
what have you got going on the next 12 months?
The next 12 months. Right. I'm, like I said, I'm going to be doing a lot of collaborations with quite a few other model friends, with photographers. I'm doing a play that I'm rehearsing for at the moment in May. I'll be involved in various charity groups and a women's group, and hopefully I'll be assisting in setting up an academy for a hair and beauty salon, carrying on with my education, obviously becoming a even better teacher. Like I said, I'm learning every day with that, so carrying on with that, and ensuring I have at least one day a week of good quality time with my family. That's my New Year's resolution.
So you've got an amazing array of things coming up for you then.
Yes, very exciting times. I'm very much looking
Yeah,
forward to next year. Yeah, very
brilliant.
exciting. Yeah.
That's fabulous. Do you realise that we've been online for 56 minutes?
Yeah, I know. It's just gone by, hasn't it?
I
I mean,
know. Gonna get shot. I
dramas.
know. Us women, we do talk.
For hours.
So,
Honestly, the conversations I have on the phone with my friends, hours and hours.
exactly, exactly. It does take hours and hours. It's good.
Yeah.
Well, what I want to say is I want to say thank you so much for being here. You've been
Oh,
absolutely an amazing guest, and it's nice to know a little bit more about you. And also, it's nice to know, it's different parts of the industry and how, other people can get involved and what they need to do to get involved.
yeah.
We've had somebody turn around and said, great show. We can all learn from her and her from us as well, which is absolutely amazing.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
it's nice that that we get that kind of content out there, and people do learn by what we're talking about. And we have so many people on replay, and it's absolutely brilliant. So I want to say thank you so much for your time, because I know obviously you're very busy, and
Really
we've
appreciate.
taken up quite a lot this evening.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I think what you do is absolutely amazing.
Thank you
You're
very much.
spectacular, and you make a person feel so comfortable and confident, and you bring out the best in people when you're interviewing them. So I think that's a real talent as well. So well done, you. Like, you've made
Oh, thank you, my lovely.
that.
I'm going to do that a testimonial in a sec. All right.
Yeah, definitely. We'll do a testimonial, but I mean, it's a whole hour, and I've just felt so relaxed and at
Good.
home. Thank you very much for making
No,
me.
you're more than welcome, Sophie. You're more than welcome. So I'm just going to say thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, that have been watching. It's been absolutely amazing that you've come and joined me. If you are on replay, then just put hashtag replay, just so we know you've come on. Please like and share. And also, if I've put down the bottom there, please like, share, comment, you know, spread the word, because at the end of the day, this is all important information that we can do to give other people, because you never know, there might be that one person that's actually have got a dream to become an actor or an actress, got a dream to become a model, got a dream to become a broadcaster. But the fact is they didn't know how, they don't know what to do, they don't know where to start. So it's very much that this is an amazing opportunity with a lot of information, that this is their first step, you know, and takers, they go further than if you were just sitting there on a fence. So what I want to say to you, ladies and gents, just comment, share, get it out there as much as we possibly can.
And like they put comments, I can always answer to it as well. Like, you know, I'm always up for helping people achieve their dreams. So if they want to, then they're more than welcome to put comments. And then if I can help people in any shape or form, then of course I will. Definitely.
Absolutely brilliant. So there you go. Thank you so much for everybody. And I will be seeing you all on Tuesday. I've not done my content yet, but it is going to be Christmas week. So we'll be doing something around that arena. And it will be just me here, which is amazing. I'll even wear my Christmas hat. Christmas. So thank you guys. Thank you for Susan coming in. Thank you for Abby coming in last minute, but you catch up on the replay. Fabulous. And also thank you to Adam, and also the person inspired to achieve global TV, which I haven't got your name on it, so I don't know which one you are. But it's been absolutely amazing to have everybody on here. And I can't wait to see you 8 o'clock on Tuesday. And thank you very much, my lovely, for being here. Take care, and I'll see you all soon.
Bye.
Bye.